Welcome to Exception Seekers, the show where we challenge conventional views on youth mental health and explore stories and experiences that offer alternative perspectives. And today I get to sit down with my friend, fellow social worker, personal trainer, local business owner, Jacklyn Frias. Jacklyn is a beautiful soul who is starting to open up about her journey in motherhood and her experiences of postpartum depression and how that has changed not only how she shows up for her clients, but how she shows up for herself with compassion and a little bit of a more gentle understanding of all that we carry with us. I loved this conversation, and I hope you do too. Here's Jacklyn. Being a young person can be tough. Raising a young person can be tough. Whether it's school stress, family dynamics, or navigating challenging emotions, everyone needs the right support. That's where Sound Youth Counseling comes in. We specialize in helping children ages 4 and up through individual, parent, and family counseling tailored to meet each person's unique needs. From tackling tough issues at home or school, to providing customized workshops and professional development for teachers and community leaders, we're here to make a difference. At Sound Youth Counseling, we believe young people deserve a safe, welcoming, and accepting space to grow and thrive, and every family deserves the tools to support them. If you're looking for support, visit soundyouthcounseling.ca and see how we can help. Sound Youth Counseling, empowering individuals, supporting families, and building stronger communities. All right, well, welcome to another episode of Exception Seekers. I'm here with Jacklyn Frias, and this one's fun because we're at my kitchen table and enjoying a coffee and trying to not make ourselves giggle because that's where we're at today.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, Jacklyn. I appreciate it.
Thanks for
Nice
having
to see
me.
you. So we had talked we've talked a number of times about this because there are so many different paths this conversation could take and varying like so many perspectives you have on mental health and physical movement and sport and motherhood and community involvement and yeah, you're nodding and like all the I know all
So
the
many.
so many. And I know that recently, over the past couple of years, what's become kind of more and more maybe of a, I don't know if passion's the right word, um, more of a piece for you that you want to try to share about and talk about is sort of the journey of motherhood and identity and re-identity and all that that
Yeah,
brings.
which is wild, just the whole journey of it.
Wild. Yes.
Yeah. And anybody who's a mom is probably like, yeah.
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 Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's talk about that.
Okay.
So, before being a mom,
Mm-hmm.
how would you like you are like social worker, also
Mm-hmm.
a personal trainer,
Mm-hmm.
and at the time had JF Fitness and Therapy.
Yep.
Um, so maybe tell us a little bit about like what was life like pre
Oh,
motherhood? What was like identity?
yeah. I I want to say I was like living the dream, but I had a routine and I worked out every morning at 6:30. I was confident, not that I'm not confident now, but it was a different level of confidence. I hustled at work. I was happy just doing my thing.
Mhm.
And I believed that when you work hard, good things come. And when you have routine, good things come. And I was very routine. I did all the things that you needed to do to be happy and healthy.
Right,
And it
you
was
checked all the boxes.
it was easy, really.
Do you think you knew at the time it was easy?
Uh I don't know. Like, I think every step of your journey is hard at the time sometimes, right?
Right.
Because I was probably living alone. There's a whole bunch of other things happening in my life, but looking back, I was like, man, I had my shit together. Yeah.
Mhm. And the time to focus on having it together.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
my business was everything because I didn't have kids.
Hmm.
And like I was the priority,
Right. Yes.
which I think a lot of women don't. I don't know if I have that luxury of being the priority or
Mhm.
we don't value ourselves as much or more than other people. But I was also helping women do that. So I needed to do it.
Right. You need to like walk the walk.
Walk the walk, yeah. And
Yeah.
I thought I was walking it well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of me
Before.
before kids.
Hmm.
I get memories on Snapchat of her, and I'm like, oh, you're just a cutie, naive cutie. You should, uh, it makes me happy and it makes me sad all at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Those Facebook or Instagram memories are
Ugh.
sometimes
Yeah.
helpful or not.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that in that stage of life, you
Mm-hmm.
said you were working a lot with moms or women. So
Mm-hmm.
what did
What does that look
yeah,
like?
what did that look like?
Yeah, I think, I always think, I always thought that I would support people where they're at.
Hmm.
And people come to me because they want to be healthier, they want to look better,
Hmm.
all the normal things.
They want change
They
of
want
some kind.
change. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, I would help them with that change. But to me, it was one direction. Like, this is the stuff you have to do it.
Right.
And, um,
Like almost like it was like a prescribed path almost
yeah.
of yeah.
Yeah. And I think, it's not always easy. And for a lot of people, like, let's say working out is hard to get on that
Hmm.
path. Um, but I was just, I'm being very direct right now. I wasn't always this direct, but like, if you want something, do it. Like, right?
Right. Right.
Um, and I think it was easy for me to say that because I did it, but
Hmm.
I didn't, knowing now what I know, I didn't have that many obstacles to do it. I had people who supported me, who loved me,
Hmm.
and I had the freedom financially and all those things to do the things.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying, if someone didn't, I would support them through it, but I think that was where my brain would go. It's
Hmm.
like, okay, well, when do you want to work out? You know,
Right.
5 o'clock, then make it happen. That's it.
Right.
Right.
Right. If it's important, you'll do it.
Yeah.
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 Hmm.
Um, and I remember, I can give you an example
Mm.
actually, which I think about to this day, every day. Uh, she was a friend. She was in one of my groups. Like I've known her for a long time. And she kept saying like she had small kids. I didn't have kids at this time. And she's like, I really need to work out. And she told me what her life was like, which I know now. I'm like, oh man. But I didn't know then.
Hmm.
And she kept being like, I need to fit it in. And I was like, well, fit it in. And then she was like, well, when? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, can you wake up earlier? And I just gave her options. And
Hmm.
she was like, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. And I remember being like, well, if you want it, which you talk about it every week,
Hmm.
like, how you got to fit it in.
Right.
And like me being a mom now, like that conversation makes me ill.
Hmm.
Because I think if that was me and someone said that to me,
Hmm.
I'd probably, yeah,
Yeah. Tell them to get out of here.
go fly kite.
Yeah.
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 Um,
How would you
or
like,
how would I do it differently?
yeah.
I think I would have a conversation like, is it something you really want? And why? Why is it something you really want?
Hmm.
Because I think a lot of times people think that they need to work out because it's what they should do
Hmm.
and not
Yeah.
because they actually want to do it.
Yes.
Um,
It's one of those pieces on that prescribed path that these are all the things, these are the
yeah.
things you should do. Yes.
Yeah, and I think maybe I would have had the conversation like, well, what if it's not in your wheelhouse right now? Like, is that okay? Um, and I still think I would have been like, you have options. Like
Hmm.
you have the path where like if it's important, do it.
Hmm.
But you also have the path like maybe it's not, and that's okay. It
Mhm.
doesn't mean you're not going to work out forever, but maybe for the next 5 months, we just take it off the list because you
Yeah.
already have a lot on your list. Um, but I didn't have that conversation.
Right.
And you know what
Yeah.
she did? She did work out. She figured it out.
Well,
And I don't even think she thought twice of it. But which like every once in a while when I see her, I'm like, maybe I should bring this up.
it's so interesting. Yeah, this is so interesting. Hey, those like you like I think we all have those like little moments or those little conversations that just like stick with us that
hmm
yeah, we look back on with different perspective and think, that
Yeah.
would have gone differently.
You don't know what
Hmm.
you don't know. Like,
No.
I think I always try and do my best at whatever given circumstance. And I think as a mom, we do that too,
Hmm.
right? You don't know until you know. And
Hmm.
when your kids are 18, you could totally say, oh, I could go back and do this differently. But at that time, you didn't know.
No.
And, I don't think I was a bad therapist by any means, but I always empathize and I sit with people where they are.
Hmm.
But I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know all the feelings around motherhood and how
Yeah.
taxing or reward. I didn't know any of it,
Yeah.
right?
I think that's a part just yeah, as counselors, like your experience totally comes into your own
Mm-hmm.
experience totally comes into it just in how you hear things or
Mm-hmm.
what the context that you frame it in almost and yeah, I think the more we learn or experience, yeah, it totally shifts
Yeah.
things for us.
And I think I struggled because when I was young, people would be like, well, what do you know? Like, you probably not a good therapist. And I always said, well, I'm
Right.
not here to tell you what is right or wrong in your life. I'm
Hmm.
just here to sit in your boat.
Yeah.
You're paddling, and I'm just, oh, look, there's a rock. I'm not going to tell you to veer away from the rock, but I'm just going to point it out.
Right.
And I don't think you need that hardcore life experience to do that. I think you just need to listen
Hmm.
and be able to sit in someone's
Yes.
boat,
Yes.
actually.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, life
Yeah.
experience has another layer to it.
Maybe some of the life experience lets you notice more rocks
Yeah, yeah.
than
Oh
than
God, a whole bunch of pebbles are coming up.
it is a rabbit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe it's better if we just go overboard. Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
It's when you jump out of the boat. No.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Well, so this is like BK before kids.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then enter motherhood.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And with well, I mean, you now have two, but obviously you had one to start.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I mean, how has that I don't even know where to start. How has it
Yeah.
shifted? How um because yeah, they're like kind of earth-shattering shifts.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, which is crazy because like everybody does it, right? Like everybody
Woman's
comes
like,
from a
what?
woman, right? Yeah. Um, but yeah, so after I had my son, I didn't realize this 6 months postpartum is when I figured out I had postpartum depression. And I was in denial, obviously, for a while because I'm like, me have postpartum depression, knowing what you know about me pre-babies, right?
Mhm, mhm,
And my doctor actually brought it up and I laughed at her and I went home and I made it a joke because like I could still be silly in myself.
mhm.
Um, and then it just got worse. And then with that, gosh, there was like a lot of shame because I know what you need to do. Like I'm a therapist and
Right.
I'm happy. Like what's going on with me? And all the things that traditionally people would say to do when you're sad.
Mhm.
A didn't work for me, and B I didn't want to. I didn't want to do any of it.
Right.
Like,
Just get outside, go for a walk,
yeah,
take time
like
for yourself.
all the things I used to love, I didn't love.
Right.
I don't even know what I liked. Um, so I was struggling and I masked it like most people. Like no one
Mhm.
knew. No one knew. No one knew.
Mhm.
I remember calling you being like, I
I
think I
remember
might be depressed.
I remember that phone call like that
Yeah.
vividly. Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
like I can't shake this.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, my life was it was like it was shaken. I couldn't get through work without crying. I didn't want to hang out with my kid,
Mhm.
which like in itself gives you a lot of shame because like
Oh my goodness, yes.
right?
Yes.
Um,
Because there's so many shoulds that come
yeah.
with it. Or you hear the like and you have to enjoy every moment or else it'll, like go so fast or
Mm-hmm.
isn't this like yeah,
Oh, and
so
people
many.
you don't realize the things how much weight a conversation might have, but people
Mm.
would say, "Oh, you must be so happy."
Mm.
And I'd be like, "Yeah." I'm so happy.
Mhm.
Um, like there's just so many things that I learned from being on the other side that I'm like, "Huh, note to self.
Right.
Maybe I need to approach people differently."
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So that was the journey. I don't know how much you want to know about that, but
Well, I what was the point of what was the turning point or was there a specific turning point when you said, okay, I think this is how I'm feeling like I kind of have to I think I gotta like own this. Like
yeah.
this is where I'm at and
Oh gosh. So you know me, I'm a pretty open book. Like most of the people who know me well, when I see you, I'm like, oh, it's not a good day.
Mhm.
Or like you can tell by my face, like I share. I don't have nothing to hide. Um, and the first couple conversations I had early on, I didn't get the response I wanted.
Mm.
Like my feelings weren't validated, which made
Right.
me feel more shame, more alone.
Mhm.
And I think it's hard because like I validate people's feelings all day. People pay me to do it, but so to me, I think it should be easy for other people,
Right.
but it's not. But it's just fine.
Right. I mean, you
Um,
go into a conversation knowing what you need out of it, and
and
then it's just kind of a letdown to not get it.
yeah, and
Hmm.
I think the first person I said
Hmm.
they told me that my husband loves me and I have this beautiful healthy baby boy, and I remember being like, okay, so I shouldn't be sad, I guess.
Hmm.
And I knew
Hmm.
that was wrong. But I was like, I don't know. So after a
Yeah.
couple of those, I didn't say anything. I
Okay.
held it in, which is not me. That's when you know.
Yeah.
Um, what was the
Yeah.
question? Oh, the turning point. The turning point.
Yeah.
Um, hmm, yeah, and I think I when I couldn't get out of bed in the morning
Mm.
and and I love my job. Like I love my
Yeah,
job. I love my people. I love hard.
you do.
And when I was like, nope, then I was like, ooh, this is not good. And I usually cry a lot all the time, but this was like someone looked at me and I would cry.
Yeah.
And then that's when I saw my doctor
Mhm.
and like figured it out. I still wasn't open about it. Like no one, my people knew. Um, but I wasn't like I don't think I shared it because A, I didn't have faith that people would give me what I needed, and B,
Yeah.
I couldn't talk about it because I was so sad I'd just cry and then it was just I
Yeah.
didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Um yeah, so I think that's when I realized that something had to change.
Hmm.
Um and then what actually helped me, which I think is probably going to be your next question.
Go for it.
Um So I tried all the things that you would think would work or
Hmm.
help, working out all those things, which uh I started to practice self-compassion and I thought I knew what self-compassion was
Hmm.
and I thought I was good at it, but turns out I didn't. but I know it now. Um, so I had a therapist and we'd work on it. And I think the way I the way I describe it is, when you've had a long day and you're exhausted and you come home and like someone wraps their arms around you and it's like almost like it's
Yeah.
this like relief
Yes.
for like 2 minutes, however long that hug is.
Yep.
And it's like nothing in the world matters
Mm-hmm.
and you're okay in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives you like a little bit of hope that you can get through the next little bit.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's what self-compassion should feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And once I figured that out, I was like, okay, yeah, no, I can do this. Um,
What did it look like? So, like, what was your pre
pre
idea of self-compassion?
just like to be nice to yourself, to not be an a-hole. I think I thought it was.
Okay.
And I think the pre and post are kind of the same, but it's the intention behind it. So
Mm.
like, you know, I can sit across from a woman and they can tell me their life. And I can look at them and be like, I don't say this out loud, but in my head, I'm like, girl, like, you're doing so much. And you, I wish you could see the way I see you. I've only known you for like 45 minutes. Like,
Yes.
they're doing all these things, they're working, they have a part-time job, they have kids, they're taking care of their grandma. And oh my God, it just goes on and on and on. And I'm like, no wonder you're freaking sad.
Yes,
Like,
and tired
and
and
tired
yeah.
and like, and it's just like a butt ton of validation. And then it's just like sitting with them in that moment so they feel heard. And that's what you would do for yourself.
Mm.
But we don't. We go, oh, I should be, okay, I need to stop crying now. Or, I need to get it together for this next person. Or
Yeah.
I have to get through this list and then I can cry later.
Yes. Yes.
Like it's just a lot of
Yeah.
shoulds. And it's never,
Mm-hmm.
you never sit in that moment with yourself like you would with someone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or we do it almost as a like a check it off, or it's more of like a passive, superficial,
Hmm.
I'm doing great, or just move on.
Yeah.
It's not as deep or as
Yeah.
long or Mhm.
And I remember the first time I actually did it, and I was like, oh, I see what people are saying now. I was in my car behind my office, and I had to go from home to work, which is usually when I cry is in the car. And I remember being like, okay. And I literally put my hands on my heart and
Mhm.
I was like, oh, Jacklyn, like this is a lot. Your body's changed, your mind's changed. You have this kid that like loves you, but you don't even know
Mhm.
how to parent, or you do. There's just a lot there. And I'm
Mhm.
like, you're running a business, like you're taking care of all these people. And like, yeah, it's okay that you're overwhelmed and you're sad. And like, I'm getting emotional thinking about it.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, you're right. It is. It is okay.
Mhm.
And that's when I was like, yeah. And like, that's the moment where I was like, oh, yeah, this makes sense.
Yes.
And then I felt, and
Mhm.
just doing this now, I feel like, oh,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
right? And
Yes.
then I got in my car and I went to work and I was like,
Mhm.
I can do this. And I did that every day,
Mhm.
multiple times a day until,
Well,
I felt better. And that was the only thing that really
mm,
helped me move
yeah.
through that.
Mhm.
It wasn't exercise. It wasn't
The bubble bath.
the bubble bath. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was the thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's such a beautiful self-practice for for any time, but even in that time, especially, when you've shared with people but aren't feeling like you're getting what you need from them, it's this like I can also just give it to myself.
Yeah.
And it can be as validating, if not more,
Hmm.
to just out loud acknowledge that.
But it's hard. Like I've been
Mhm.
practicing self-compassion for God, I don't even know. But I think we're always critical, more critical on ourselves than everybody else. Um,
Do you still do it regularly?
Yeah, I do it. I don't do it every day. I do it when I have a mental breakdown, when you need it. But I think sometimes life gets so busy, and I try not to make more things on my to-do list, but if I have a coffee in peace, quiet, that's usually when I'm like, oh yeah, here we are.
Just notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually pair most of my nice talk to myself when I'm drinking coffee alone. Which, like, why wouldn't you? Um, yeah, but I think I'm definitely way better at it than I was.
Yeah.
And I wish people knew the power of it.
Yes.
Because you think about how powerful it is when someone you love sits with you in that moment. Sometimes that changes everything, right? But you could do it for yourself
Yeah.
a million times a day.
Yes. And it doesn't have to be long.
No.
Like it's, yeah.
And I think, when I went through that part of my life, I just wanted validation. I wanted someone to be like, yeah, this is a lot. Like, it makes sense. Like, yeah, it does.
Right. Yes.
But I can give that to myself. I can give all the other things to myself, but we're not taught that.
No. No, or it's met with even the suggestion of it is sometimes met with like skepticism, or that will feel silly, or that will feel awkward, or like, yeah, it won't work. It's
Yeah.
it takes a bit to kind of get that, like, okay, let's just like try it hurdle. Yeah.
And what I tell my clients is pretend like it's easy for me. So my office has like two chairs and a couch. My clients usually sit on the couch and I sit on the chair. I don't know why they always choose the couch. But I picture myself on the couch and my other version of me on the chair. And I'm like, what would I say to me?
Yeah.
And I tell you, it's not what I would actually say in my head. I would be fired for life if I actually said the things to someone that I say in my head. And that's how I start.
Yeah.
Is like, okay, what would I tell someone in my position? And I'd be like, man, girl, like, I'd validate them. I'd be like, you are a rock star.
That's a good way to start it though, right? Is you
Like,
you see yourself as another person.
yeah.
And then yes, because often it's like once we see ourselves as another person, oh, of course I'd show up a
Yeah.
little bit differently.
And if another
Yeah.
person was doing all the things I'm doing, I'd be like, whoa, whoa, you're
You're
amazing. Yeah. Right?
Yes.
But I should be doing more.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So I think it's just looking at yourself like you look at everybody else.
Knowing like, yeah, you before, you after, just like, and how much you love work and how much you love your kids and how much like when you're in something, you're just one of the like you're so immersed in like wherever you are like fully doing it. And I know, curious with like identity, just kind of that like shifting identity. Like I know like one of my biggest challenges, kind of almost still is, although my child's much older than yours. But that like almost grief and redefining self of like this is who I was before and this is who I am after, and ultimately yes the same but like really not the same. And yeah, things that worked before, things that didn't or do, or and how did you tackle, or how are you tackling, just that like how do we come to like relearn ourselves when we look back and think, yeah, I'm like that was such a different version of me.
Yeah, I think I'm still trying to figure that out. And I think what I'm doing, what I'm telling myself is give it time because I'm still like things change all the time. When your kids are small, gosh, one minute they're
Right.
crying the next minute. My daughter just started saying mom, and now she won't stop saying mom, and I'm like, wow, that happened really fast.
Yeah.
But I think it's so quick where I am
Mm-hmm.
that I'm like, you don't have to figure out who you are at this moment or in the
Right.
next minute. But like, I think it's sometimes it's just like pumping your own tires where you are,
Mm-hmm.
and like loving yourself through the changes,
Mm-hmm.
whether they're messy or straightforward or
Mm-hmm.
and I think we're always better the next day than the day before. Like we're always learning. So like there's something to that, right? Like even though my life was smoother and I was more fit and
Yeah.
all those other things
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean I was better then. Like
Right.
I'm pretty sure I've learned a gross amount
Mm-hmm.
since then. And like my question I always ask myself, but like why is this version bad or
Right.
worse?
Yeah.
It's better.
Yeah.
So like how is it better?
Yes.
And it's better because like gosh, I have
Yes.
more compassion, I have more patience. Well, patience, that's
Sometimes.
sometimes. But I think like, I'm tackling way more than I've ever tackled in my life
Mm-hmm.
and I'm doing it. So like what does that make me?
Yeah.
Right? And I think we just assume that the best version of us is the put together one
Mm.
or the one that's more organized but like
Right. Right.
why is that
Mm-hmm.
true? It's not.
Right.
Um yeah, and I think, I look at parents, moms who our kids are like 6 and 8
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to the gym. Like I think I'm just in the trenches. That's what people say. You're
Mm-hmm.
in the trenches. And I'm like, is that where I am? Um, but
Yeah.
I think it's just like loving yourself through it. And what we don't talk about is grief ever. Gosh,
Mm-hmm.
we can have a
Like
day on
grief with
grief.
motherhood?
Yeah. It's
Yes.
like it's
Oh
never
my goodness.
ending.
Mm-hmm.
You get pregnant, your body changes, your mind changes, you're emotional, and you're like, who, what?
Yes.
And then you have a baby, and your body changes, and your mind changes, and
Yes.
you're emotional, but in a different way. And then you have these people that like you love so much, but yet at the same time, you're like,
Yeah.
and then you don't do anything you used to do. So you grieve that. You
Mm-hmm.
grieve. And then your kids get older and then you grieve them when they're little. And then, oh, it's just like this like grief
Mm-hmm.
choo-choo train. You can tell I have kids, choo-choo train. This grief choo-choo train that like
Yes.
you're just waiting. And it's
Yes.
like, oh, here's some
Yes.
more.
Yes.
Which
Yeah, or
we
your like your relationship before or
oh,
after, or your
all your
like
relationship.
how you thought it would be even. You like
Yeah.
it's wild to me how much we grieve things that never even happened, but just the stories that we came up with in our mind of what we thought things would look like.
Yeah.
And then they don't turn out like that, and then we're sad about it. But it's like that didn't even happen. But
Yeah.
I'm still somehow grieving this thing that didn't even happen, that I thought might happen.
Yeah. It's wild.
It it is,
And like, why don't we
yeah,
talk about it?
I don't know.
It's
I know.
I haven't stopped since I
Hmm.
found out I was pregnant grieving.
Yeah.
And I do it so unconsciously. At the beginning
Yeah.
it wasn't unconscious. I was like
Yes.
that was the hardest part for me. It was grieving my old
Yeah.
version.
That is hard.
Um
Yeah.
but yeah, it's never ending.
Mm-mm.
And I think, loving yourself through it.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like, yeah, it's okay to miss the old you, but the new you is
Mm-hmm.
what I just swear on here. The new year is like freaking awesome,
Yeah.
right? What's wrong with the new you?
Yeah. Yeah. And almost and like and talking about it to like normalize it or give it space or
So that
say
people even know that they're grieving. Because I think
yeah.
we do it and we don't even know.
No.
right? We just get sad and
No.
I think I'm pretty good at knowing my emotions, but there's a lot of people who wouldn't even put their finger on grief.
Hmm.
So like sometimes it's just like,
Yeah.
you know, when someone's talking about something and you're like, oh my God, that's me. But I didn't know.
Yes. Yes.
Like I think it's just like
Absolutely.
even putting it out in the air. And,
Hmm.
you know, I believe, and this is why I try really to be my authentic self, but I think the more you show up as you, it allows other people
Yeah.
to show up as them.
Yeah.
So like even just to say it out loud,
Hmm.
someone else might be holding that in and being like,
Hmm.
oh yeah, no,
That's me too.
that's me too.
Hmm.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And sometimes I'm struck too by, like, I find sometimes for people, whether it's like depression or postpartum depression, but like the low moods in particular, sometimes it's like when you're really in it, it's so hard to talk about because it's so vulnerable
mhm,
and it's yeah, just so uncomfortable. And it's almost like for some people, you gotta like it's not until they're like through it enough
mhm,
that then they're like, oh, that was bad. And I can talk, I'm not great now, but I'm like better enough that I have the capacity to be able to either acknowledge it or talk about it or be willing
yeah,
to like open up and share it. And I think it's that like space between
mhm,
when we have to find a way to like make it easier for people or connect better somehow, you know, of
yeah.
it's when it's really dark we need to talk. But that sometimes, yeah, it's after the fact sometimes we're better at it.
And that's a whole other thing too, because I think I remember being so sad. And you know, people are like, how are you? And you're not I'm not gonna be like, well, pull up a seat, stranger.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how I didn't sleep because I've been crying. You know, these puffy eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's because um and like telling people is exhausting, but like
Yes.
not telling people is equally as exhausting. So you're
And
like, where
isolating.
do I sit? Because
Yep.
like sharing is wipes you right out.
Yep.
But like masking is it was so hard for me to mask. Like I remember
Hmm.
it was like a full-time job.
Hmm.
Like how do I hide being sad from the whole world who's used to seeing me, well, you
Not
know,
sad.
not sad.
Yep.
So like that was, I remember going home and being like, I'm so tired from putting on a
Pretending.
show,
Hmm.
which like makes me sad that I
Hmm.
felt like I had to do that.
Hmm.
But it's also my job to be there for people. Like that's my job.
Yes. Yes, there is an element
Yeah.
of work
People
where
pay me to
you
be
actually
happy.
can't show up
Yeah.
exactly as you, or you're the rawness of you, because
Hmm.
yes, that is, that is
Yeah.
a really hard part though
Yeah.
of being a counselor, of
And
like
it's not
you
like the
really,
training, I think, was
yeah,
worse because at
oh,
least
fair.
as a counselor, you
Yes.
show up unbiased, neutral. But
Yeah.
as a trainer, I have to show up like,
Oh yeah, happy.
woohoo!
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
True.
yeah,
You
right?
got this.
Yeah.
Motivate.
Motivate,
Yes.
be happy, silly, because
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
in the studio, that's where I am myself fully.
Yes.
Because, you know, I'm not going to do
Mhm.
weird things in therapy with you. I try not to anyway. But in training,
You're all over it.
I'm all over it,
Yes.
right? And
And you would have been encouraged, you would have been like training people doing something that you used to do and you used to love and filled you so much that you
mhm,
kind of lost for a little while, where it's like, I don't want to do this, or my body can't do this right now.
mhm.
And then, yeah,
Yeah, so that I think that part was hard
yes,
because I'd have to like pump myself up, go into the room and just fake it so hard.
yes,
Yeah.
that is exhausting.
And then people, even when I would tell people, they're like, "Oh, you're not sad." And I'm
Yeah,
like,
but you seem great.
"Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah,
Yes,
no, no shit. No shit. I seem great." It's because
yes,
I just put all my energy
yeah.
into fake smiling for you for the last hour. Yeah.
Oh, and then yeah, and we almost do it just like by not talking about it. It's like we almost do this disservice to
Hmm.
each other as women or as young moms or
Yeah.
whatever, right? It's like if we're all showing up with a like it's great,
Hmm.
but only like, you know, half of us think it actually is great, and the other half are like, I
Hmm.
guess I should think it's great because they all think it's great. but we, you know,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's
And
hard to find your like,
the,
if you don't love it, it's hard to find your space. And I remember a friend of ours had said, once said to me just how like, you know, you don't necessarily, it would be rare to love every stage, you know, and
mm-hmm,
you kind of have your groove.
mm-hmm,
Sometimes you're like, oh, this stage. And I
mm-hmm.
remember just spending many years being like, okay, like not still not my stage yet.
Yeah.
You know, because like newborn toddler was not my stage.
It's
And I
hard.
was like, it'll come. And then um but yeah, but when you're around other people who are like, this is awesome, isn't it?
And you're like, yeah.
I guess. Anyway.
I try like, you know, I remember I had a couple clients in training who were in the same like
Life stage.
life
Mm.
stage. And I remember being like, how are you? And you know, when someone like really asks, how are you? And they look you in the eye.
Hmm.
And like in those conversations, I
Hmm.
would be genuine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
because yeah, I thought that was important.
Yes.
But you know, it's hard. Yeah, and I remember attending like there's so many moments that like stand out to me. I remember attending a Canada Day party
Hmm.
and oh man, I left the party and I cried in the washroom probably like 8 times. Not one person knew.
How you were.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
And yeah, and someone was like, "Where have you been? Like, can you grab the ribs when you're up there?"
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
It's just I really love Canada Day.
yeah. And it's just it's crazy because
Hmm.
they weren't my people necessarily.
Hmm.
So like I'm not gonna be like turns out I got real bad postpartum depression
Hmm.
and I actually
Hmm.
don't want to be around any of you. So if you
Yeah.
could all just go home.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. Yeah.
Um
It's
and
hard.
I told a
Yes.
couple people at that party way after, you know, feeling
Yeah.
good and they're like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, it was like the worst weekend
Mm-hmm.
I can recall."
Mm-hmm.
But like people had no idea. And we do
Mm-hmm.
such a good job of like
Yeah. We should.
faking
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Um, which is
Yeah.
like a whole other problem in itself. Yeah.
Have you found your like practice has grown more with like women and younger moms who like new moms who are find that validation with you or find that experience with you? Has that like or with training, like has it shifted
Yeah,
your
I'm
clientele?
definitely I don't think it's shifted. I've shifted
Okay.
with the people I have.
Yeah.
And I haven't really shared much of this story.
Hmm.
Like still a lot of people have no idea. Um, but I think my responses are different
Mm.
to anybody. Like I have a
Hmm.
client who comes in late for training every week and she's like, I'm so sorry. It's my kids. And I look at her and I'm like, girl, I don't care. You're here.
Yeah.
And she's like, is this because you're just really nice or is this because you're a new mom? And I was like, both. But
Hmm.
like, I wouldn't have cared before, but I feel
Hmm.
for her now. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
the fact that you're here,
Hmm.
you need a victory biscuit
Yes.
because
Like
we should have a cake for
all
you.
the shit
Yeah.
time to
To
like actually get there and show up.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think my responses to people have changed.
Hmm.
I'm not, I just let people be them and
Hmm.
I ultimately believe that people are doing their best.
Yeah.
Not that they weren't before, but yeah.
How do you think you like what shaped you to like get there to like go into this role? Or because you like started a business, you interestingly at the time, right? Because there wasn't anything like it up here, like
Hmm.
paired this idea of like therapy and fitness
Hmm.
um together. And
what made me
and
get
just
into this role? Oh
get out there on
gosh.
your own. Yeah.
Yeah. So in my master's, I did shoe placements because I did my master's in policy. Uh, so I did two placements. One was a research placement, which like, oh my God.
Confirmed you didn't want to do research.
Yeah. And I remember I trained. I trained all through university and training's so fun and like happy and you see results like weeks
Yes.
and like therapy and it's just it's sad and it's sometimes taxing
And longer.
and longer and like sometimes anyway. So I struggled because I'm like, I know I love this, but like I don't like this at this moment.
Right.
And I missed training. And one of
Yeah.
my colleagues were like, well, why can't you do both? And I was like, yeah, I guess. Like, I don't even know what that looked like. Like, I train for someone and then work for someone. And he's like, or you could do it for yourself.
Right.
And I was like, huh. And then I actually came home and my mom was the one that was like, just pull the trigger, just do it. And I started having like boot camp classes at the beach.
Yeah.
And then I worked as a social worker for the Lynn.
Yep.
And then my schedule got so busy training, I finally found a space that I was training a lot. And people, I was basically doing therapy training anyway.
I feel like from the training standpoint, it lends itself to that because you're just like one-on-one, or in a group, but let's say one-on-one and you're focused and you just are naturally talking and sharing, and how you're doing affects how you show up. So, like, yeah,
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know why I'm not just doing this
together.
for real.
Yes.
And then that's how that happened.
And then it came to be.
I was,
Huh.
it took a while because no one else was doing it. So I was like, is this even allowed? There is people in like the States, they obviously do it. And there's
Right.
more people now. Um, but yeah, then COVID happened and it almost like
Right.
made me do it
Right.
because I could see people
Right.
in the gym,
Oh yeah, that's right.
but not for training, but for therapy.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
How do we block out so
I
much?
know.
Right. Yes, that was a thing that happened.
Yeah, so that was the thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, it just kind of pushed me to do it. And
Yeah.
here we are.
Right.
And it is a natural fit, I think, for me because if I'm sad and I go work out, that's usually when I cry in the corner in the gym. Like it's like all my emotions are like leaving my body and I'm like in the corner rowing and I'm like
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I think it just gets everything out
Right.
like without even trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there, like, when you look back of that, like, exception seeking idea, of, yeah, you didn't fit in a box, like you kind of came up with this idea and took your own path to
Mm-hmm.
do it. Like, how do you think, was there an experience, something specific that gave you the, like, confidence to be like, I can just do whatever
Whatever I
works for
want.
me? Or
Um,
like, where do you think
yeah.
that
Well, this is so funny you ask.
is it funny I asked?
It's funny you ask. So pre-masters,
Mhm.
I was very shy. No, I wasn't me, the way you know me now.
Yeah, okay.
I was
It's the shy
shy
version.
all
Mhm.
through school, didn't talk, like
Mhm.
didn't like yeah. I wouldn't say I wasn't confident, but I don't know, I was shy, introverted. And then I don't know what changed, but I got my master's and I moved away by myself as an adult.
Mhm.
And that's when I was like, I'm actually really cool and why don't I just share things? Like
Yeah,
why do I just sit in the corner and be shy?
right.
I don't know what changed. Something changed. And then I from that moment, I don't know when it flipped, but I just stopped caring as much about what I could do and couldn't do. And I just, it's like something took over me and was like, you can do whatever the heck you want.
Just try.
And I,
Huh.
I'm grateful. My parents like really distilled a lot of that in me. Um, so great.
Mhm.
'Cause they don't think. Yeah. But I remember my mom saying to me, if Sarah jumped off a cliff, would you jump off a cliff? And I remember saying to her, I would be the one jumping off the cliff first, Mom. Which, like,
Hmm.
yeah, I think I wanted,
That was you.
that was me.
Yeah.
I didn't like to do the trends that everybody else liked. I wanted my own trend.
You're right.
Like, I like want it to
Mm.
be more me and less everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've always been that way, but like the older I get, the more I'm like, yeah, I want to be that way.
Yes.
I think as a kid I wanted to, but didn't have the confidence to be like,
Yes.
here I
That
am.
makes sense. Like, I mean, yes, there's an element
Yeah.
that we grow into ourselves, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hmm. It's,
It's
yeah,
weird.
it's cool though. Like, yeah, your mom had a few moments with you. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Because yeah, no, I think I've been privileged that my parents were always like, you can do whatever you want to do if you put your mind to it, and
Mm-hmm.
like you're capable,
Mm-hmm.
you're smart. And I like to this day, my mom's voice comes out when I'm struggling. She's
Mm-hmm.
like, have you ever failed before? Like, why is this any different? Literally, she says it. And I'm like, yeah. So now it's my voice, obviously. And it's true. Like, have I ever epically failed at something when I actually put my mind to it? No. I've always handed things in on time. I've always been that person. So, like, why can't I get through this? Is
Yes.
there any evidence to show that I
Yes.
can't? No.
Right.
So
Yeah.
here we are, right? But like
Yeah.
I'm grateful that I've had that voice
Mm-hmm.
because I know some people don't.
Yeah, but now you have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and even outside of like epic fails, have you ever faced something hard, right? It's like then yes, and managed. Like
yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's the perspective to look back and be like, yeah, totally. So it's like would suggest that I'm
Hmm.
good to go
Yeah.
and try whatever's next and because I'll figure it out.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think like as much as postpartum was hard, I got through it and like
Yeah.
we're on the other side, two babies now, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm coming out of it.
Yes.
And I think that's just adding to the like try and stop me,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Which is
And I
cool.
I appreciate too that you're someone who not only, yes, experienced that and are coming out the other side, but are also now like, and now what do I do with
What
that?
do I do with it?
Because I had this experience and I'm not alone in having had this experience, but almost feel like it because we're so quiet about it. So
Mm-hmm.
what do I do now? Like, I love
Yeah,
that.
and that's the big thing is like there's always so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it's limitless with
Yeah.
what we have.
Yeah.
And it's just deciding like what am I gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
Right? But that's the entrepreneur brain, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Um and like how do I connect? Because like what we what we're losing gradually, I think, is connection.
Yeah.
COVID really put a man on that. And like, how do I connect? How do I help people not feel alone? How do I not feel alone?
Yes.
Like, there's no reason for any of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what does that look
How do
like?
we shift it?
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, when you
Hmm.
figure it out,
Yeah.
you come back
Yeah.
and we'll like officially talk again about what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe like 95. I don't know.
That's
When
okay.
we're
We'll be
both
like
like
women
old,
sitting
holding
around
hands.
instead of a kitchen table, we can do it on like rockers on the front porch.
Yeah. I don't know. If only there was just a button,
Mhm.
you know?
Well, if people are listening and they're like, oh, that happened to me, or is happening to me, or I want to connect, then
Yeah.
they can
Connect.
connect.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'd be happy.
Yeah. Because you also do virtual support.
Yeah, we do virtual,
Yeah.
we do all the things.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and like our training, because we do group training, is a good group of women, and
Hmm.
we're all like really honest and just authentic. It's cool to
Yeah.
like walk into those groups because yeah, it's just real. It's real life. People talk about their kids and their husbands and their careers and their
Yeah.
emotions,
Show up as them.
Yeah. And I think we've created a really good atmosphere, or I don't know. Culture. Thank you. Yeah. Community. Which is cool. Like, I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm grateful for you.
I'm grateful for you. I only cried once.
You did?
Yeah.
No, it was
just one
just
tear.
Time. Yeah. There's still time in the day.
There's still time. Oh yeah, don't fret. There's loads of time in the day.
So, thanks for listening to Exception Seekers. Tune in again as we continue to seek overlooked stories that offer new perspectives, disrupt limiting beliefs, and inspire transformative approaches to nurturing youth mental health.
This podcast was produced by North Star Networks, the guiding light for progressive media.